Taurus. Okay. This is a great week. Let's get into it. Taurus, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. My name is Michelle, and thank you so much for even being curious about astrology. I think you'll probably learn a lot. For those of you returning, God bless you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel so we can grow over here. In this video, I'm going to go over weekly the major planetary aspects and transits for this week. This week is May 11th through the 17th. Sorry, I got an itchy nose, of 2023. We're going to start really broad with the important stuff that sort of everybody should be paying attention to. And then we're going to focus that down to the stuff that specifically Tauruses should be paying attention to. And then we'll break it into the decans. And a decan is a group of 10 degrees. Each zodiac sign has 3 decans because each zodiac sign has a total of 30 degrees. And your natal sun is located in one of them. The reason we separate it into 10 degrees is because there's a 10-degree window of the effect that an angle to another planet has on your natal sun or on any other planet. So we can break it into those 3 groups and know about how it's going to impact you. But certainly if you're born at the beginning of Taurus, the end of Taurus, you're being impacted. You have a totally different angle to the same planet. So you're being impacted in a completely different way. So this is a really honed in and specific forecast. It is not a horoscope because it does not pay attention to houses. It does not put you at position 1 as if every natal sun is in the first house. It's not. They're very inaccurate that way. So this is really just taking the position of your natal sun and letting you know what is impacting your natal sun for the week and what that means to you in your day-to-day life. So let's get into the real. Okay, you do not need your natal chart. If you don't have one, that's fine. I will. I'll estimate the correlating birth dates so that you know in relationship to the decans what those are. But to get really specific, I would say absolutely go get your natal chart. They're free. All you have to do is Google free natal chart, and there's so many websites that do it. You just need your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. All of that's on your birth certificate, and it'll pop it out for free in a couple of seconds. So highly recommend that, but you don't need that to watch this video. So let's start really broad. Big things. Mercury goes direct. Oh, sorry. This is for May 11th to the 17th, in case you didn't see the title and the thumbnail, but whatever. May 11th to the 17th of 2023. I always look at my notes down here. Very important. So the big things are Mercury is direct on the 15th. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to actually not get any more Mercury retrograde stuff happening because it's going stationary. It's interesting. When you look at the charts, you'll see that Mercury starts at 6 degrees, retrogrades back to 5 degrees, and then that's where, when it's at 5 degrees Taurus, it goes direct and ends back up at 6 degrees. So that's what we call it's stationary. It doesn't look like it's moving at all. It is moving. It's just not really generating that energy in the other direction yet. Of course, it's never been going in. It's always been moving kind of forward, but it just looks that way from Earth, right? So really it's out to the 20th, maybe 22nd, probably about a week out after Mercury retrograde for us to really start seeing Mercury moving at its regular pace. Just an FYI, but at least it's direct, right? Yay. We also have a big transit. Jupiter on the 17th goes into Taurus. Bam! Guys, Taurus 1, you're really going to feel that impact, right? Taurus 1, definitely, if you're on the cusp between Aries and Taurus, oh, you're going to feel Jupiter come in. Oh, it's just going to go boom. It's just going to change everything. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel the optimism, I think, first and foremost. But we'll talk about that. That happens on the 17th. This is really beautiful energy, and I'm excited about it because I think it's very prosperous and amazing. And the fact that Jupiter is This is another big thing I want to talk about. Jupiter is square to Pluto and square to Mars, while Pluto and Mars are in direct opposition to each other, and Jupiter is in direct opposition to the South Node, meaning it's conjunct the North Node. So Jupiter enters your sign, conjuncting your natal sun, conjunct the North Node. big boost to your future, wide open. Could even be surprises that you never thought you'd have opportunities in, but you will. I love this energy for you. We're going to get deeper into it. Overall, I just feel like there's almost an implosion when it comes to that weighty energy of the Jupiter, Pluto, Mars square, grand cross in the sky. It's like something is compacted. Something is compacting, and it keeps compacting and gets more and more kind of combustible. And I think something's going to implode because it needs to make room for the newness. And it's just not taking no for an answer. It's almost like the drain is finally being pushed through. We can start getting flow again in about a week. So I love that energy. Yeah, let's get into Venus. This is what Tauruses need to pay attention to outside of their natal suns. You need to pay attention to where Venus is. Just like I'm a Cancerian, I always pay attention to where the moon is. So Venus is in Cancer. And this week, she's very happy and content in Cancer. She's trine to Saturn and the South Node, meaning she is part of a grand trine. That's a comfort zone, like a comfort zone of all comfort zones. Like Saturn is real cozy, things are looking good, the pretty life, the high life, expenses, being expensive, they like the cost of things. South Node, they're cozy, comfy. It's like people are really cozy, comfy right now, but that grand cross with that square in the center is about to implode that. So I do feel there's something imminent that's coming up, especially with the financial systems. I'm not sure what it is. That's not the point of this video anyway. The point of this video is how does it relate to you? So let's finish off Venus first. She is also sextile to Mercury, which means that there is some opportunity here, or she feels some opportunity coming when it comes to eloquent speech. She can speak like presenting herself very eloquently when she speaks. Her ideas come forth very eloquently, maybe very poetically. Also sextile to Jupiter, which is one of the most benefic and optimistic energies. So Taurus ones, you're going to be so fortunate to have Jupiter conjunct your natal suns and be sextile to Venus and sextile to Saturn. We'll get into it. She's also sextile to the North Node, of course, because Jupiter and North Node are conjunct. So this is a big break for your future. This is Venus in one of her happiest positions, and maybe in some ways it has to, since she's in Cancer, it has to do with your family or your family situation. So this could be really beautiful energy. Let's get into the decans. I can barely wait. So decan 1. Okay, stop. What's happening in Taurus? So Jupiter enters Taurus, of course, at 0 degrees on the 17th. Mercury goes direct on the 15th. Like I said, it moves from 6 degrees to 5 degrees back to 6 degrees. That's its movement there. Boop, boop, boop. It's kind of like an old video game. Anyway, and then we have Uranus at 19 degrees, holding steady. And the sun, remember him? Yeah, he's still with you. Moving between 20 and 26 degrees Taurus. The sun is about to go into Gemini next week, not this week. And so it will enter the 3rd decan this week. That's really nice for you guys. So let's jump into, so there's a lot going on in Taurus. There's a lot of movement, and basically it's one of the focal points. So I can't think that, and with Uranus there, this is when the changes happen, man. This is when the changes happen, especially to the changes to your mindset about how you feel about your own personal self-value, what you value, and what you think is worth it, quote unquote. So let's see how it impacts you, especially this week. Taurus ones. Those of you with a natal sun between 0 and 9 degrees Taurus, you are Taurus ones. The equivalent for the birth dates, this is an estimate, but it's about it's the last weeks in April. So if you are an April Taurus, you are a Taurus one, basically between April 22nd and the 30th. So there's that kind of bulk of like 9 days, maybe up to 10 days. Yeah, it's like those first kind of 9 days. It's like the first 9 days. Yeah. So like I said, that's I got something going on my desk here. I don't like it, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm super, super psyched for you, so I'm a little distractible. So there's about there. So April Taurus is definitely, if you are an Aries cusp, absolutely. You're always Taurus 1, but up to like the end of April would be Taurus 1s. Your natal suns conjunct Jupiter, and this is big. I mean, eventually Jupiter will conjunct all your natal suns, right? Because it's got to move through Taurus, but when it first enters, there's that biggest plunge, and that's when it really strikes. So you guys are just reverberating optimism and huge growth, and this could be overnight expansion, just to let you know. It's conjunct the North Node, so expansion of possibilities for your future or ideas, or where you even see yourself in the future. Mercury is also conjunct to your natal suns. This is, your mind is bright, you've got the answers, you can articulate what you're feeling, or information, you've got the information coming to you. Now, Mercury is in retrograde, of course, so that could mean that things are still a little bit delayed, but ultimately, this is fantastic energy for this week. You're square to Mars, so I would not try to move quickly or be too physical here or take any impulsive action. You could be more, you will be more impulsive. You will be more like kind of pop offish, but with all this really wonderful energy, it could just be excitable. But just maintain a vigilance, especially when it comes to your physical body, because when your sun is square to Mars, there is a little bit more of a chance that there could be injury. So just be aware of that. Long-term aspects are a square to Pluto and a sextile to Saturn for the rest of this year. Sextile to Saturn. Sextile to Saturn means growth and expansion through your career, especially if you're in the creative arts, because Saturn is in Pisces. Couldn't be more creative than manifesting something from your creativity into the reality zone. Like, this is amazing energy. Maybe even just a breakthrough idea or knowing which direction to go. Absolute inspiration. This is Star Wars level inspiration, and for fans of Star Wars, you will know why I mentioned this to Tauruses. Thank you very much. No, it's just not May the 4th be with you. There's something more intimate. There's a very important Star Wars person who is was born in May and who is a Taurus himself. So yes. Anyway, the square to Pluto and the square to Mars and the conjunction to Jupiter, you guys are at like ground zero when it comes to this grand cross. So there is, like, the energy around you is absolute combustible. Like, it's just, or compact, whatever you call it. You will feel it. You will know that it's happening. There is something you are witnessing front row seat, or it's changing you. Like, this will completely rearrange how you see the world and what you might want to do with your life, even if you're 50 years old. Let's go into, I said crazy change, front row seat, or you're the driver. Either way, you get front row seats to it. Let's go to Taurus 2 now. Taurus 2, you're like the first 10 days of May. Or in there and around, maybe up to May 1st to the 9th, right? So your natal suns are conjunct to Uranus. And this means that the change, it's like you've been feeling the change for a while. The change has been sort of happening to you, this strangeness, this weirdness. And now on either side of you, you're seeing it happen. I don't know if you're ground zero, but you are going to get the impact. You are going to feel this. And in some ways, it's the oddities, it's the weird things that you're bringing up, the strange and unusual things, the excitable things, and the brilliance, and that you're going to be able to see what is good and what is bad and what is worth it and what is not. It could be that you're ground zero. It could be. It could be. But don't feel left out, because you're absolutely not. These vibrations are all around you. Taurus 3s. So the last 10 days or so, like maybe 9 to 10 days of Taurus, that's you guys. So from maybe May 11th through the 21st, or like, yes, in and around there is a guesstimates. But like I said, 20 to 29 degrees Taurus, definitely. You're conjunct the sun. And you're sextile to Mars and sextile to Neptune with a trine to Pluto if you're at the cusp. If you're at the cusp between Taurus and Gemini, you are trine to Pluto. you are legitimately like growing in ways like this is your time to shine. This is your time to create and invent. This is the time when you will be absolutely inspired from the inside out and create things that will inspire other people. This is a huge breakthrough when it comes to everything that you're capable of, everything that you're possible of, but it's changing. There's something here that's dynamically changing because you have that long-term trine to Pluto. This is your butterfly moment. This is when you change to be what you were always meant to be, and not what you started out as. Even if life was good as that little hungry caterpillar, it don't matter. What matters is you are now, over the next couple of years, while your natal suns are trying to Pluto, caterpillaring, taking that, no, butterflying. You're not a caterpillar anymore. You'll never be who you used to be because you weren't born to be who you were supposed to be. You're becoming that now. So these are extraordinary changes in your life. But this week, you are sextile to Mars and you are conjunct the sun, the current sun. So there is a time to shine. There's vitality. There's energy. There's a lot of physical energy and a real sense of the space that you take up and what you are capable of. I love this energy for you. I think it's extraordinary, especially since, it's extraordinary. Guys, you let me know how the energy is impacting you this week, how you're feeling it. I just can't stop with the optimism. I think it's fantastic for you. Remember to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. Now follow me over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your weekly tarot card reading. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, Taurus.